Shalom, and welcome to Who is Yahuah. Today's reading is Shamuth, Exodus, chapters 39 through 40. Shamuth, Exodus, chapter 39. From the blue, purple, and scarlet material, they made finely worked garments for service in the Kadash place, and they made the Kadash garments for Aharun as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet material, and fine woven linen. They hammered out thin sheets of gold and cut it into threads to work it into the blue, purple, and scarlet material, and fine linen, the work of a skillful craftsman. They made shoulder pieces for it, joined together. It was joined at its two edges. The embroidered band of his ephod that was on it was of the same workmanship of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet material, and fine woven linen, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. They prepared the shaham stones, set in gold settings. They were engraved, as a signet is engraved, with the names of the sons of Yashar'Al. He put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod to be stones of remembrance for the sons of Yashar'Al, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He made the breastplate, the work of a skillful craftsman, like the workmanship of the ephod, of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet material, and fine woven linen. It was square. They made the breastplate folded double. A span was its length, and a span its width, when folded double. They set it in 4 rows of stones. A row of ruby, topaz, and emerald was the first row. The second row was turquoise, sapphire, and diamond. The third row, jacinth, agate, and amethyst. The fourth row, beryl, onyx, and jasper. They were enclosed in gold settings. The stones corresponded to the names of the sons of Yashar'Al, 12 according to their names, engraved like a signet, each with its name for the 12 tribes. They made chains of braided work of pure gold for the breastplate. They made 2 gold settings and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. They put the 2 braided chains of gold in the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate. The other 2 ends of the 2 braided chains they fastened in the 2 settings and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod in its front. They made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, on its edge, which was toward the ephod inward. They made 2 more gold rings and put them on the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod underneath, in its front, close by its seam above the embroidered band of the ephod. They bound the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a blue cord, that it might be above the embroidered band of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not come loose from the ephod, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue. The opening of the robe in its middle was like the opening of a coat of mail, with a binding around its opening, so that it would not tear. On the hem of the robe, they made pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet material, and fine woven linen. They made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robe, all around, between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, around the hem of the robe to minister in, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. They made the tunics of fine linen of woven work for Aharun and for his sons, the turban of fine linen, the adorned headbands of fine linen, the linen trousers of fine woven linen, and the girdle of fine woven linen, and blue, purple, and scarlet material, the work of an embroiderer, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. They made the plate of the Kadash crown of pure gold, and wrote on it an inscription, like the engravings of a signet, Kadash to Yahuah. They tied a blue cord to it, to fasten it on the turban above, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. Thus all the work of the dwelling place, of the tent of meeting, was finished. The sons of Yashar'Al did according to all that Yahuah commanded Mashah, so they did. They brought the dwelling place to Mashah, the tent, all its furnishings, its clasps, its boards, its bars, its pillars, its sockets, the covering of ram's skins, dyed red, the covering of fine leather, the veil of the screen, the ark of the witness with its poles, the lid of atonement, the table, and all its utensils, the showbread, the pure manu'rah, its lamps to be set in order, all its utensils, and the oil for the light, golden altar, the anointing oil, the sweet incense, the screen for the door of the tent, the bronze altar, its grating of bronze, its poles, all its utensils, the basin and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars, its sockets, the screen for the gate of the court, its cords, its pegs, all the utensils for the service of the dwelling place, for the tent of meeting, the finely worked garments for ministering in the Kadash place, the Kadash garments for Aharun the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister as priests, according to all that Yahuah commanded Mashah. So the sons of Yashar'Al did all the work. Mashah looked at all the work, and indeed they had done it as Yahuah commanded. Just so they had done it, and Mashah blessed them. Shamuth, Exodus, chapter 40. Yahuah spoke to Mashah, saying, On the first day of the first month, you shall set up the dwelling place of the tent of meeting. You shall place the ark of the witness there, and screen the ark with the veil. You shall bring in the table, and arrange its arrangements, and bring in the menorah, and light its lamps. You shall set the gold altar for incense before the ark of the witness, and put up the covering of the entrance to the dwelling place. You shall set the altar of burnt offering before the entrance of the dwelling place, the tent of meeting. You shall set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it. You shall set up the courtyard all around, and hang up the screen for the gate of the courtyard. You shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the dwelling place, and all that is in it, and seal it, and set it apart, along with all its furnishings. It shall be Kadash. You shall anoint the altar of burnt offering, and all its utensils, and set the altar apart. The altar shall be most Kadash. You shall anoint the basin and its base, and set it apart. You shall bring Aharun and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. You shall put the tunic on Aharun and the ephod, and gird him with the girdle of the ephod, and clothe him with the robe, and place the turban on his head. You shall bring his sons, and put tunics on them. You shall anoint them as you anoint their father, that they may serve me as priests. Their anointing shall be to them for an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Mashah did this. He did everything as Yahuah commanded him. On the first day of the first month of the second year, the dwelling place was set up. Mashah set up the dwelling place. He placed its sockets, set up its boards, inserted its bars, and raised its pillars. He spread the covering over the dwelling place, and put the covering of the roof on top of it, as Yahuah had commanded Mashah. He took the witness and placed it inside the ark, and set the poles of the ark, and put the lid of atonement on top of the ark. He brought the ark into the dwelling place, and set up the veil of the covering, and screened the ark of the witness, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He put the table in the tent of meeting, on the north side of the dwelling place, outside the veil. He arranged the bread on it before Yahuah, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He put the menorah in the tent of meeting, opposite the table, on the south side of the dwelling place. He lit the lamps before Yahuah, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He set the gold altar in the tent of meeting before the veil, and burned incense of sweet spices on it, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He put up the covering of the entrance to the dwelling place. He set the altar of burnt offering at the entrance of the dwelling place, the tent of meeting, and offered on it the burnt offering and the grain offering, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He set the basin between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water in it for washing. From it, Mashah, Aharun, and his sons washed their hands and their feet when they went into the tent of meeting, and when they came near to the altar, they washed, as Yahuah commanded Mashah. He set up the courtyard around the dwelling place and the altar, and hung the screen of the gate of the courtyard. So Mashah finished the work. The cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the esteem of Yahuah filled the dwelling place. Mashah was not able to enter the tent of meeting, because the cloud rested on it, and the esteem of Yahuah filled the dwelling place. When the cloud was taken up from over the dwelling place, the children of Yashar'Al went onward throughout all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, they did not set out until the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahuah was on the dwelling place by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Yashar'Al throughout all their journeys. Thank you for joining me to gather today's portion. May we continue seeking Yahuah through his word and growing in the knowledge of him, one day at a time, until Yahusha gathers us. Shalom.